Hi, I'm Julie Foppel, and today on Location Luxe, I'm coming to you from Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and we are headed to Pleasanton, California, first made famous by the Hearst family, and now stewarded by an incredible top producing real estate professional who makes philanthropy and integrity a business model. Let's go.
For centuries, we have migrated from one place to another, driven by seasonal changes, climate change, or economic forces. Today, we are seeing human migration driven by innovation and technology. This new breed of nomads are seeking lifestyle and peace of mind. I'm your host, Julie Foppel, global founder of Realm, and I've spent my entire career in the luxury space. Together, we're going to examine the great lifestyle migration and the stewards of real estate that help facilitate a safe haven for these new residents. We are in the most dynamic housing market of all time. This is Location Luxe.
Julia Murtaugh, it has been a few months since our paths have crossed in person, and now we are almost that lucky because I feel like I'm coming to you from my backyard in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and you're in your backyard in Pleasanton. How have you been?
I have been fantastic, and life has been fantastic here in California, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the coming weeks. But life is good here in California. Pleasanton's fantastic, and real estate it's been an amazing year.
Help me understand a little bit more about your market and what makes it so special.
Yes, I'd love to tell you about that. So we sit about 45 miles east of San Francisco. So what's unique about Pleasanton is we're very centrally located to everything in the Bay Area, but we have been historically more affordable than, say, San Francisco or the Peninsula. We sit about 10 miles from Tesla's initial headquarters. We also have some other companies here that have headquarters, such as Workday. We're down the street from Chevron. So there's a lot of great dynamic companies that are around the area. And with more affordable housing, Pleasanton has really exploded. When I moved here in 1996, there was about 60,000 people, and we are now approaching 80,000.
How do you help them get to know what it's like to live in Pleasanton?
Oh gosh, one of my favorite things to do is to put a buyer in my car and drive around Pleasanton and point out the neighborhoods, point out all the shopping and dining and parks. There's parks at every corner in our city, and the downtown is so charming. It's a slam dunk.
And so, Julia, one of the things that I love about you, and as we've become better friends, you have this effervescence and this enthusiasm that is kind of contagious. And so do you think that that's kind of part of your secret to success? I mean, as you're showing people around, it sounds very still kind of small town, but it's been growing so much. I mean, how do you bring that element to kind of your interactions?
Like you, Julie, I love to have fun. And I think that comes through when I'm with people. I just am naturally very happy and enthusiastic. And so I think that comes across when I'm working with people, meeting new clients. So many of my clients, become my friends. In fact, we just had our client appreciation party on Friday night. We hosted 125 people at a winery in Livermore, had dueling pianos. They drank way too much wine, and it was an incredible party.
Why? I must have missed that invitation.
Yes, I'll make sure you're invited next year.
I want to come. No, I mean, I think that that's kind of part of it, though, too, is you help people relax into what is a lot of times one of the biggest changes in their lives.
Definitely. Helping buyers and sellers is definitely one of the biggest investments that they do in their life. So they've got to make sure they use somebody that they feel comfortable, that they trust, that they know has experience. And negotiation is one of my favorite things.
raised 3 boys in Pleasanton. And so help us understand a little bit more about what it's like to raise a family there and what makes that aspect of the community so great.
Well, Pleasanton is consistently ranked as one of the top 10 mid-sized cities to live in. It always ranks on safety. There are excellent schools. That's another reason that Pleasanton has grown so much is we have top-tier schools in California. People can put their children in the public school system. I was very active in all things Pleasanton. I sat on boards. I was on school site councils. I ran auctions to raise money for the schools. One of the things I'm proudest of is a nonprofit organization that I started in Pleasanton in 2015, which is an organization that puts mothers and sons together, teaching the boys leadership, life skills, and it's grown to an amazing organization. And it really was a startup, with a lot of work, but my son Liam and I started the organization, and now it's thriving.
Well, I'm so impressed by the fact that, it takes an entrepreneurial spirit to build a successful real estate business, but then two, you did it philanthropically too. Tell us a little bit more about the organization and it's called the Young Men's Service League of Pleasanton, right?
Correct. Really, how I came to start this was I was very jealous of my friends with daughters that were doing national charity leagues. So having all boys, I never got to participate in that. And I was brought up with giving back. That's always been something that I really learned from my family and my parents. And so my mom actually read an article over on the peninsula about an organization that was just that for boys. So I reached out. It started in Dallas. Pam Rosner was also a real estate agent, and she started this organization. So I reached out to her and got on a Zoom call, and she laid the groundwork of how to do this and what it does for the boys. And I started it with a handful of, I think there was 12 of us. And you have to do so many hours of giving back to be in this organization. And at the end, after 4 years, it's just high school. There's a banquet, and hearing the boys talk about what they've learned over the 4 years is amazing.
Julia, you come from lineage in acting and advertising, and you've manifested that in real estate.
Definitely. Yes, my father was both an acting and an advertising exec. He actually won some awards for some of the commercials that he produced and creativity as well. He's very creative. And I learned a lot about marketing and advertising from him for sure, and have incorporated that into helping sellers and buyers, mainly sellers. We spend a lot of money and time and effort to make sure that every listing is marketed to the tens. Everything from online presentation to listing brochures to detailed information around my listings, calling out every feature. I don't know anybody else that does that, but we have signs all over the listings calling out every feature so that there's nothing unturned at our listings.
Well, and I love, so that element of storytelling that you learned from your dad and from his career success, you've brought forward into, all of your listings, but I'm just thinking of one I was perusing the other day, The Ranch. Tell us a little bit more about that one.
Oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful listing. It is nestled in the hills of Livermore Valley. It is a 20-acre olive orchard ranch, and they actually produce olive oil. Last year, I gave away a bottle to all of my clients at my party. They purchased the property years ago. I helped them buy it, and they have redone the entire ranch. Stunning backyard. One of my favorite things, they have grandchildren. They created Olive Town. It is a playground for children on the property. And it's a Mediterranean ranch style, and it's stunning. They've done such an amazing job. We listed it a few weeks ago, and the expectation might take a while because it's going to need to be the right person that would want to live on the ranch, but it is a stunner.
So, Julia, what is your definition of luxury?
I think luxury is in the heart of the person that lives in that property, whether it is a small home that's decked out to the nines, or a sprawling estate, or a home on the ocean. It's what that person really wants and can actually afford. That to me is luxury. But like you said, trust. You know, if you're helping a luxury seller or buyer, it's really important that they trust you and that you also can understand how to help those people that are in that sphere. Because luxury sellers and buyers are definitely in a different tier than, say, a first-time buyer.
What is the market like now in Pleasanton? Where do you kind of see things? Look in your crystal ball. But we're hearing a lot of noise out there about different economic factors, political factors, all of those things. How is that affecting your market, and where do you see it going?
Like the rest of the country, we've had a bit of a slowdown, but I see it more as a natural real estate market. We haven't quite crept into buyer's territory yet, but we're getting close. I'm thankful for the buyers out there that it's calmed down. And for sellers, I think we just all need to be realistic that, we had 40% appreciation in 2 years. That's unheard of. It's never happened, right? So we all have to remember that there's been such incredible appreciation that let's take a deep breath and be realistic on the listing prices. I think once we get through these next few months, I'm hopeful that next spring is going to just be a nice regular market. And the other thing with the slowdown is, from what I've read, the builders are slowing down building. It's going to be a similar cycle that happened in 2007 and 8, where the building stopped and the economy rears back and there's a lack of inventory.
Well, Julia, I have loved visiting with you. Thank you so much for being a part of Location Luxe, and I cannot wait to see you.
Thank you so much for letting me be a part of Location Luxe, and it's been really fun connecting with you, and I can't wait to see you.
See you soon.
Okay, bye.